Good evening, everyone. I am John Mason, better known as Dr. M, the Purpose Disruptor. And I am so sure that so many of you all are like, Doc, it's 8 o'clock. You go live at 9 o'clock. Yeah, but I told you yesterday that we're going to move, we're going to switch some stuff up and we're going to move this a little bit earlier, only because there's a lot going on. When I tell you there's a lot going on, there is a lot going on. And if yesterday was any indication as to how tonight is going to go, yeah, I'm just telling you, we got a lot to cover in just a little bit of time. So let's get to it. Nope, don't want that one. I want that one. Yay! For those who have not been with us, shift into your purpose is an acronym which basically covers a whole lot of ground. The S stands for sitting with yourself in Jesus. It's a time that you set aside for yourself to basically look at you, deal with you, function with you, and be transparent, be honest, be brutally raw as it relates to what you have to do. That's the most important thing. The H, hear the Father's voice. You need to get into a space where you can quiet the noise around you. Maybe you need to drive to the park and just sit there in silence. Maybe you need to go for a walk around your house, around your apartment. Maybe you just need to put on some headphones and just deaden the space around you so that you can actually hear what the Father is saying to you. The I is talk about investing in your purpose, and then we've been driving this home for 17 days. You've got to know who you are. You've got to know where you're going. And you've got to know those people who are assigned and aligned with you to get you to that point. Once you know that, then you can move resources so that you can invest in your purpose. F, which we're finding out day by day is one of the hardest things, is to forgive offenses. Forgive offenses. It's not easy, y'all. Plain and simple. It's not easy. When you have offenses or a spirit of unforgiveness, there are tormentors that are assigned to your life. And there are many people who are literally in torment now. There is no rest here. There are habits that they have that they can't seem to break. And that's because forgiveness has eluded them. Not because they can't, it's just that they won't. And that's never good. And lastly, take accountability. Until you can raise your hand, be transparent, and say, yes, I did it. I did it with premeditation, and I'm sorry. Forgiveness and accountability go hand in hand. They always have, they always will. So that's the shift that we need to talk about. Along with the shift journey, there is a journal for you to use. Special price during this particular time of $18. We want you to have it. We want you to use it. We want you to make sure that this is actually something that will benefit you. So we'll give you just some information on that in just a second as to how you can get those. Also available right now is the Shift Affirmation Deck. This is actually the thing that I'm very excited about. Why? Some of the electricity is out and some of the electricity is not out. Oh, I wonder what that means. I don't know what that means. Y'all read that? Well, let me be the first to tell you. If we online, we moving forward. I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't know whether you can see us, but we're going to move forward and we're going to make this thing happen. I could care less, devil. I literally could care less. Yeah, that's not the way that this is going to work. We're going to make sure that this happens. All right. So, anyways, let me remove that from the stage, and let me tell you what we can do. If you want to join the shift movement, I need you to go to purposerefinedbyfire.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you will then see something that basically says join the shift. Fill that out, and you'll be good to go. If you want to buy the book or the affirmation deck, I need you to email your name, address, and the quantity to info@purposerefinedbyfire.com. I'll be back in touch with you very quickly and tell you what you need to do to go ahead so I can get that shipped out to you. It's going to be real simple. It's going to be real simple. Woo! So, day number 17, we are going to be talking about iron sharpening iron. This was from last night. And if you missed last night, I'm telling you, you need to go back and look at that because that's going to be something else. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I'm recording and I hope that this is going out. If not, I'm going to post it a little bit later. So, okay. So if you can see me, then we pushing. Day number 17. Day number 17. Iron sharpening iron. And for those of y'all who are trying to figure it out, Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. As iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. When I first started looking at this, and I said to myself, this came up yesterday, but we didn't really have a time to deal with it. We only dealt with it from a sort of secondary standpoint. And the secondary standpoint, honestly, didn't cut it for me because this was so important to shifting into your purpose that I said, how in the world is this going to work? How is this going to work? And that's when I came up with this and I said, I'll tell you what we're going to do. This is how this is going to work for us. So I need you to watch this and then we can go from there.
It's gone. But it's easy. Strike while the iron is hot, and urging to make the most of your opportunity before it's gone. But it's easy to feel more like the iron than the hammer, taking on blow after blow after blow.
COVID-19 cases climb across the nation.
Hospitalizations hitting records in 16 states last week.
I've not had a situation as difficult and emotional as this one, that we cancel the remainder of our men's basketball tournament.
The NCAA has made the decision to cancel the men's and women's tournament.
Fortunately, the iron isn't judged by the heat. It isn't defined by the pressure it endures. It isn't assessed by the ashes left in its wake. Instead, it's remembered by what it becomes. Because iron sharpens iron.
Wilkerson will take matters into his own hands.
And no, this is not a basketball commercial, if you're trying to figure that out. This is the beginning of a journey for each and every one of us. I need you to imagine in your mind what happens when that metal is put into the fire and superheated to the point where it becomes molten. Then it is put on a simple anvil. And in the mind of the blacksmith, it is struck repeatedly until such time that it begins to take on the shape that the blacksmith chooses. And as it cools, it has to be put back into the fire. It then needs to be struck again until such time that it can then be worked by the blacksmith. This process is repeated over and over and over and over and over. And you ask the question, how in the world does this process have to do with us? And the answer is, this is what we are called to do with those people that we call friends. This is what we have to do in order to make sure as it needs to be. Okay, let's see if you can see me now. Can you see me now? Let's see if this actually works. Yeah. I love technology. And last night was perfect. So we're going to push through. Yeah, the power's out. Why am I so not surprised? Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? Because this is what happens when something's got to move forward. This is what happens when we need to have a conversation that certain folks don't want us to have. And I promise you, we're going to have it. So, Proverbs says that we are tasked to be this blacksmith for one another. We are literally supposed to work this until your countenance changes, until everything that you are about becomes something different. And I'm wondering, I'm literally wondering, are we doing a good job of being the iron that sharpens iron? You can only be one of three things. Only one of three things. You're either the hammer, you're the molten metal, or you're the anvil. That's all you can be. That's all there is. Now, for sometimes, Kenitra, you're the hammer. And she good at what she does. Because she will bring that thing down and have no issues with it. That hammer comes down, and I mean it comes down with precision. That's what building is all about. That's what forming is all about. That is what it means to move from point A to point B. That's what that means. And when you look at it, I'm so sorry. She is not going to stop doing what she's doing just because it may be uncomfortable for you, because at that particular point, you're the molten metal. She's not going to stop it. What she's going to do is she's going to continue it because she has a system, a pattern, a rhythm, a system, a pattern, a rhythm, a system, a pattern, a rhythm that she's going to do until this thing becomes formed. And once it becomes formed, then what you're going to see is in the fire, on the anvil, in the fire, on the anvil. And this is going to be repeated until such time that the blueprint of the building, or in this case, of the design, becomes what it's supposed to be. Sometimes you have the unfortunate pleasure of becoming the molten metal. And when you are the molten metal, that's when it gets real difficult. Because when you're the molten metal, then what you happen to be is that thing that you think it's all over with because, whew, she finally gave up. No, you just cooled down and she's going to stuff you back into that fire again. You going back in until you're superheated, and then you going back on that anvil. And once you're back on the anvil, guess what happens? You're going to get beat some more. Now, I have to tell you something. As I was beginning to look at this in the Hebrew, and I was beginning to look at this in the Hebrew, and I'm glad that y'all are here because some folks are going to miss it and they're going to have to go back and get it. Because number one, the fact that all the power went out just as I went live, whatever. Sorry, Prince of the Power of the Air. This ain't going to work. Not for me. This is actually going to happen. Number two, this scripture speaks of changing the countenance or the face of a friend. You ready for this one? You ready for this one? I need you to put in the comments, fix your face. Fix your face. Why? Because that's what iron sharpening iron does. That's what iron sharpening iron does. It helps the countenances, plural, of your friend. It's a one-on-one engagement. One-on-one engagement. How can somebody handle something where somebody else can't? Because they've had somebody who has been fixing their face. They have taken the hammer and they've made that metal molten, and they have been working. Mentor, mentee, we talked about for the last week and a half. Jonathan, David, Elijah, Elisha. Doesn't matter which one you choose. Timothy, Paul. that hammer rang until their face was fixed. Stuff didn't bother them anymore. Their face was fixed. They could endure. Their face was fixed. They could push forward. Their face was fixed because of iron sharpening iron. When you look at this, the Hebrew word is faces. How many of y'all know some of y'all are two-faced, three-faced, four-faced, five-faced? You have different faces for different things. And if somebody says something that you don't like, who they think they are. Girl, bye. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Multiple faces are pushed forward based on what they're hearing and what they're seeing. Wisdom and the action of the anvil allows you to see the wisdom behind, the hurt behind, the fear behind the face. It's just a mask. It's just a mask. And to those who have been on the anvil, they are not swayed by what they see. They're swayed by what's on the inside of them. What that blacksmith has forged deep into the metal. How it's folded over and over and over until it has strength. Until it literally is set. Well, oh, Jesus. Remind me tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and give you a link for how a katana sword is made and how long it takes and what it first started with, which is nothing more than scrap metal and rust, and what it ended with, which is this beautiful work of art that is razor sharp and cuts through anything. That, folks, is why we're on the anvil. Many a blacksmith has been asked, how many hammers have you gone through? And they can't count that high. Because there are hundreds of hammers where over time, the wood holding that hammer head has splintered and broken. And they throw it, waiting for another one or getting another one. These same folks have been asked, how many anvils have you gone through? And they laugh and they say, one. Y'all know where I'm going with this, but I got to say it anyway. Jesus has been and will continue to be the anvil upon which we are placed. And as we begin the process of hammering on our friends, and why does it have to be our friends, not our enemies? Because only our friends are going to willingly give of themselves to become what we see in them. Only our friends are going to allow us to place them into the heat so that they can then become pliable. Only our friends who we are in relationship with are going to allow us that level of closeness. If you're not a friend, you're not going to allow that. If you're suspect, you don't trust, you're not going to allow it. If you're just an acquaintance, you're going to stand across the room and say, I wonder what they're going to do today. That's why no change comes. That's why no change comes. Yeah, I need to show you one more thing. The hands of a blacksmith are the telltale sign of relationship, honor, respect, and love. If you take nothing else from tonight's session, I want you to take this. Show me your hands, and I'll show you whether or not you live by the adage that iron sharpens iron. You can't have pretty hands and swing the hammer. You can't have pretty hands and be dealing with the fire all day long. It just doesn't work. They're worn. They're weathered. They are stronger than anything you can imagine. From holding that hammer, their vision is so acute because they know without a shadow of a doubt what the blueprint is that was downloaded to them for you, their friend. And they know that what's going to happen to the faces that their friend needs to work on. And with time, those hands and that vision will come into being what is the next stage of your development. Family, it's time that we stop playing mentor and start understanding that being a mentor is a solemn task. It's not something that you can take on and put off as you see fit. It's something that you are committed to. If your protege doesn't do what you're supposed to ask them to do, that's why Jesus said that he would leave the 99 to go after the one. That's why he said it. Because he understood that there's always going to be a hard-headed sheep that don't want to do what they're supposed to do, what they've been asked to do. They're going to go and wander off someplace and try their best. But that shepherd, that person who is indeed in charge, is going to go after them, is going to find them, and going to bring them back. Mentors, I'm speaking to you right now. When's the last time you talked to your protege? When's the last time? Is your protege okay? Are they not okay? Are you leaving them by themselves for their own devices? What are you doing with them? What are you doing? Mentees, I'm talking to you. Do you have to make it so hard? Do you have to make it so hard for your mentor? Can you affirm that you really appreciate them in your life? Can you affirm that they are doing what God asked them to do? Can you affirm that? And the friends, the friends. I'm not your friend because I'm going along with you no matter what. I'm your friend because I can withstand the process of friendship. And yeah, there's a process of friendship, and it's deep and it's wonderful. And I'm going to be the first to tell you, Kenitra Mason, thank you. Jamal Wright, thank you. Dr. Cheryl Cummings, thank you. Reverend Dr. James Victor, thank you. You have demonstrated that friendship comes with a cost. And that cost is, I love you enough to sit my little happy head on that anvil and let you swing. If I don't love you, then as soon as I see that hammer coming, I'm jumping off the anvil. You ain't hitting me. And what that tells me is I am not willing to pay the price of friendship, because the price of friendship is iron sharpening iron. Woo! I've got a special announcement that I'm going to make via a live when I get some power back. And when that happens, I'm going to tell y'all the good news about what's coming. And it's good news. Oh, Jesus, it's good news. I need to actually, there are two things that I need to announce. Two things that I need to announce. Thank you. Thank you. But for right now, I told you, I'm trying to hone these things down to about 30 minutes, somewhere in that neighborhood, so that folks can actually stay engaged and stay excited. That's what I'm hoping. So, announcements coming. Just wait. As soon as they come, I'm going to let you know, because I need to confirm some stuff. Other than that, thank you for being here. And as I close out every session, here's how it goes. Decide what God has tasked you to do. Once you have done that, declare to the world, this is my purpose. And then I need you to defend it, because that's the gift that was given to you. Mentors, call your proteges. Check on them tonight. Check on them tonight. Mentees, check on your mentors tonight. Check on them tonight. Make sure they're okay. Make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Friends, get to swinging, because it's time to fix some faces. Fix your face. Fix your face. We're going to see you again tomorrow. A little bit earlier than before. We're going to be here. We're going to be here. We're going to do what we got to do. And it's going to be normal in just a little bit. It's going to be normal. But until then, I love you. I hope y'all are okay. Tomorrow, actually revised shift time. Revised, same shift. See, I can't make this stuff up. Can't make this up. Can't make it up. We'll still see you tomorrow. Take care.
We all want to be happy, but the majority of us have no idea what to do. See, the Japanese have a concept called ikigai, which roughly translates into a reason for being. You need to have a purpose for being here. But this is easier said than done because there are 4 components that you need to check off in order to achieve ikigai. Now, the interesting thing about this Japanese formula is that you can tell where you are in life and what you need to work on by looking at the components you have so far. If all you have is something that you love and are good at, then you have what's called a passion. On the other hand, if you have something that you love and you can see how the world needs it, then you have what's called a mission. Now, if you're someone who has something you get paid well for and are good at, then you have what most people in the world have, which is a profession. And finally, if you get paid well and it's something that you know can help the world, then you have what's called a vocation. You need to be spending your time doing something that you love, that you can get better at, that pays well, and that the world needs. Without all 4, you will always feel like you're missing something inside of you.
Follow us for more helpful tips.